Hi everyone, in today's lecture, we will solve a number of questions related to HCF and LCM, right? So before solving the questions related to HCF and LCM, we will solve a question that has been asked in UPSC CSAT. So look at the question and try to solve it. The question says, let XYZ be a three-digit number where x plus y plus z is not a multiple of 3. Okay, let us skip this question for now. We will solve it later, right? Okay. Let us try to think about these questions. Two equilateral triangles have the sides of lengths 34 and 85 respectively. The greatest length of tape that can measure both of them exactly is. Now, if you read the word greatest, HCF should come to your mind. See, sometimes these words like lowest, highest can confuse you a lot. But if you read this question, the question says that two equilateral triangles have the sides of lengths 34 and 85 respectively. The greatest length of tape that can measure both of them exactly is. So what we will do? Simply, we will find HCF of 34 and 85. So tell me, what is the HCF of 34 and 85? No, there is a number that can divide both numbers, and that number is 17. See, you can write 34 as 2 into 17, or you can write 85 as 5 into 17. So obviously, to find the HCF of 34 and 85, we will look at the common 17 and 17. Then we will take the minimum power, but in both numbers, the power of 17 is 1. So obviously, HCF will be 17. Or even if you find the HCF in this manner, 17 into 2, 17 into 5, that is 85. You can't find any number except 1 that can divide 2 and 5. What does it mean? It means that 17 is the HCF. So what is the correct answer? The correct answer is option C. But wait for a second. If you are not able to think that should I find the HCF or should I find the LCM, then how will you solve this question? You can solve this question by using options, right? Read the question. The question says the greatest length of tape that can measure both of them exactly. Okay, let us check for option A. Option A says 18. Can you measure 34 by using 18? Or you can say that it is 34 meter, it is 85 meter, 18 meter, 16 meter, 17 meter and 15 meter. Can you tell me, can you answer that? Can you measure 34 meter by using 18 meter? No, you can't measure. Notice this thing. Suppose this is 34 meter, right? So obviously, suppose till this point, this is 18 meter. If till this point, this is 18 meter, means the rest of the length is 16 meter. And if you put that 18 meter tape again here, it will exceed. But will you be able to say that this is, you will not be able to measure, right? So if you can't measure 34 meter by using 18 meter, right? Similarly, you can check about 16. See, and there is another way to check that 18 into 34. You will get remainder 16. Means you can't measure, right? If you divide 85 by 18, you will see 13 as remainder, right? Let us check for option B. 16 and 34. Again, 2 is the remainder. The remainder should be equal to 0. Again, try to measure 65 by using 16. 16 into 5. Again, you get remainder as 5. Right? Now check for option C. 17 and 34. The remainder is 0. Right? 17 and 85. The remainder is 0. Means you can measure 34 meter and 85 meter by using 17 meter tape, right? But don't worry, we will solve many questions related to the concept of HCF and LCM, and we will also learn that how we can apply, how we can use options to answer, right? You can expect 1 or 2 questions of this kind getting asked in CSAT, right? So any doubt? Okay. ओके मैं बता दूंगा आपको एंड में, ठीक है? पक्का आप एंड में जब लेक्चर एंड होगा मैं बता दूंगा. अब हम लोग नाउ वी विल स्टडी अबाउट प्रोप्राइम नंबर्स, राइट? व्हाट आर प्रोप्राइम नंबर्स? Pro-prime numbers are two numbers that don't have any common factors other than 1. What does it mean? It means that if I say that A and B are, co-prime numbers, if I say that A and B are co-prime numbers, if A and B are co-prime numbers, what does it mean? It means that HCF of A and B is equal to 1. If you read the first line, co-prime numbers are two numbers that don't have any common factors other than 1. If they don't have any common factors other than 1, means they have only one common factor, that is 1. And what is the meaning of HCF, highest common factor? If 1 is the only common factor, means HCF will be those two numbers will be equal to 1. Means if I say that A and B are co-prime numbers, it means that HCF of A and B is 1, right? Now let us take simple examples 8 and 15. Now try to find out that what is the HCF of 8 and 15. 1. The HCF of 8 and 15 is 1. And if the HCF of 8 and 15 is 1, what does it mean? It means that these numbers are co-prime numbers. These numbers are co-prime numbers, right? Now tell me that is 26 and 117, are 26 and 117 co-prime numbers? Yes. Okay, everyone should try to find out. If you try to find out the HCF of 26 and 117, can you write 26 as 2 into 13, right? Or can you write 117 as 3 into 13? So basically 117 is equal to 3 square into 13, right? Now we have to answer HCF of 26 and 117. Means we will look at the common numbers, right? 13 and 13 are common, right? And we will take the minimum power of 13. And fortunately, in both numbers, the power of 13 is 1, right? Means HCF is 13, right? But what is the definition of being two numbers, co-prime numbers, that the HCF of those two numbers should be 1. But if you look at 26 and 117, the HCF is 13. What does it mean? That these numbers are not co-prime numbers. Any doubt? Okay. So will you be able to retain the definition of co-prime numbers? The definition is very simple. If HCF of two numbers is equal to 1, means you can call both numbers co-prime numbers. Okay. Now, try to think about this question, that how will you solve this question. The question is not very difficult. You just have to apply few basic concepts. Take 2 to 3 minutes to solve this question. Sorry? Okay, reciprocal. Okay, I will tell you. See, if you assume that those two numbers are A and B, if you assume that those two numbers are A and B, so what is the reciprocal of A? 1 by A. And what is the reciprocal of B? 1 by B. What does it mean? That if I say 5, the reciprocal of 5 is 1 by 5. Right? Are you able to get this thing? What is the reciprocal of 2 by 3? Simple. 3 by 2. The reciprocal of 2 by 3 is 3 by 2. Right? Don't worry. Try to think. Try to think harder for 2 to 3 minutes. Then only you will be able to learn that why we couldn't solve this question. Okay, let us solve this question together. If the sum of the two numbers is 55 and the HCF and LCM of these numbers are 5 and 120 respectively, right? Then the sum of the reciprocals of the numbers is equal to, okay, we have assumed that those two numbers are A and B, right? That if the sum of the two numbers, so we have assumed that those two numbers are A and B. Are you able to understand this point? And it has been given that the sum of the two numbers is 55. What does it mean? That we have written, we can say that A plus B equal to 55. A plus B equal to 55. Are you able to get this thing? And the HCF and LCM of these numbers, HCF of A and B is equal to what? 5. Right? And LCM of A and B is equal to what? 120. Are you able to get this thing? That HCF of AB, it has been given in the question that HCF of these numbers are 5 and LCM of these numbers are 120. Now try to recall that property of two numbers related to HCF and LCM. Right? HCF into LCM equal to first number into second number equal to multiplication of those two numbers. Okay, we will come to that thing later. Let us read the question. The question says, then the sum of the reciprocals of the numbers is. So, sum of the reciprocals of the numbers. So, these are the numbers A and B. What will be the reciprocal of A? The reciprocal of A will be A plus 1 by A. Right? What is the reciprocal of B? The reciprocal of B is 1 by B. Right? Now, try to learn about the LCM. See, whenever we get sum of fractions, we usually find the LCM of denominators. We usually find the LCM of denominators. What are the numbers? A and B. See, from now you will never be confused that how to deal with 1 by A plus 1 by B. So what will be the LCM of A and B? Are you able to find any common thing? Simple AB. From now you should be ready to apply this thing. If you get A, B and C, if I ask you that what is the LCM of A, B and C, you can say ABC, right? So now try to recall that concept. A into B means 1 into B. Are you able to recall that sum of fraction? That how do we find? If B into A equal to AB means 1 into A, right? So basically B plus A divided by AB, B plus A divided by AB. Are you able to get this thing? Right? Now try to think this thing. You know that B plus A is equal to 55. See, if A plus B equal to 55, means B plus A is also equal to 55. Are you able to get this thing? If A plus B equal to 55, means B plus A is also equal to 55, right? Now, we don't know the value of AB. How we will find the value of AB? Try to recall that formula, that HCF into LCM is equal to first number into second number, A into B. Are you able to recall this property? First number into second number. What is HCF? HCF is 5. What is LCM? LCM is 120. And this is equal to A into B. So basically, A into B is equal to 600. If you multiply 120 and 5, it will be 600, right? So A into B equal to 600. So basically 55 by 600. Don't worry if you are not able to solve it. The main goal of this question was to teach you something about reciprocal, right? Something about reciprocal, something about finding the LCM of A and B. So 1 by A plus 1 by B equal to will be A plus B divided by AB, right? 55 by 600. Are you able to get this thing? Right? Means you can simplify it, 5 into 11 and 5 into 120. So 11 by 120 will be the answer. Now try to see. These are different things. Now I will explain this question again. It was given in the question that if the sum of the two numbers is 55 and the HCF and LCM of these numbers are 5 and 120 respectively, then the sum of the reciprocals of the number is equal to. Okay, we assumed that the numbers are A and B. The numbers are A and B. If the numbers are A and B, the reciprocal will be 1 by A and 1 by B. And we had to answer what is 1 by A plus 1 by B. If you proceed it further, you reach till this point, B plus A divided by AB. And if you have assumed the numbers are A and B, in the question the sum of these two numbers have been given. That is equal to 55. A plus B equal to 55. Right? Are you able to get this thing? Now if you read further, it has been given that HCF is 5 and LCM is 120. Now we applied that concept of HCF into LCM equal to first number into second number. From this point, by using this property, we found A into B, that is equal to 600, right? And then we put the value B plus A is equal to 55 and AB equal to 600, right? Hopefully all of you are able to understand. See, it is slightly difficult question. It is not a very difficult question. We will solve a number of questions and you will be able to solve this kind of questions by yourself, right? Now try to answer this question. We have solved one question related to largest length of tape in the beginning of today's lecture, right? So try to answer this question either by using proper method or either by using options. You are independent to choose. And if you look at the question carefully, these values are in meter and centimeter, meter and centimeter, meter and centimeter, but the options are in centimeter. So you will have to convert all the values in centimeter, right? You will have to convert all the values in centimeter, and you should know that 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter. 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter. And again, you are reading the word largest. Try to recall HCF, highest. Means you will have to find the HCF of these three numbers. That will be your answer. Or even you can check options one by one. The value, if any value, is able to divide these three numbers completely, means that number will be your answer. The numbers are slightly lengthier. That's why you will have to put efforts for 1 to 2 minutes to find the answer. If you convert these values in centimeter, 6 meter and 48 centimeter. 6 meter is equal to 600 centimeter, then plus 48 centimeter. So this is equal to 648 centimeter, right? Similarly, 11 meter, 52 centimeter will be equal to 1100. 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter. So 11 meter will be 1100 centimeter. So 1100 plus 52 centimeter, that is equal to 1152 centimeter. Then 16 meter and 20 centimeter. So this value is equal to 1600 plus 20 centimeter. That is equal to 1620 centimeter, right? So basically, we have to find the HCF of 648, 1152 and 1620, right? Basically, we have to find HCF of 648, 1152 and 1620. Okay, you have got 36? Okay. So basically try to find the HCF. 648, then 1152, 1620. See, all the numbers are divisible by 4, or you can even divide it by 2, right? But if you look at the last 2 digits, all the numbers are divisible by 4, right? Means we can directly divide it by 4. 4 into 16, then 2. You must do that division, right? Then 4 into 2, 8, then 3, 5. So 4 into 8, 3, 2, 288. Then obviously 4 into 4, 0, 5. 4, 0, 5. Are you able to get this thing? Now if you add 6 plus 1, 7 plus 2 is 9. 2 plus 8, 10 plus 8 is 18. 4 plus 5 is 9. What does it mean? That these numbers are divisible by 3. Are you able to get this thing? Means let us divide it by 3. See, you can divide it by dividing by 2 first, then 2, then 3, then 3, and so on, right? You are independent to choose. Whatever you are able to find that, okay, all the numbers are divisible by this number, you can apply. Or to find the HCF, you will definitely have to find that one number that can divide all the numbers. So 3 into 5 is 15, then 3 into 4, then 3 into 9, then 3 into 6, then obviously 1, 3, 5. If you add all the digits, 5 plus 4 is 9, 9 plus 6 is 15, 1 plus 3, 4 plus 5 is 9, means these numbers are again divisible by 3. So 3 into 18 is 54, 3 into 32 and 3 into 45. Now you can't find any number. That can divide all of these 3 numbers. See, you are finding HCF. Suppose if you are finding LCM, then you have to just find one number that can divide at least 2 numbers, right? But to find the HCF, you have to find that one number that can divide all these numbers, and you can't find any number. So what is the HCF? HCF is equal to 4 into 3 into 3, that is equal to 36. So our answer will be 36. Or even you can find the HCF by using prime factorization method. Suppose if you are able to apply prime factorization method, you can apply prime factorization method, right, to find the HCF. Our only role is to find the HCF. Okay, so 36 centimeter is the answer, right? But suppose if you are not able to think in this way, that you should find the HCF, then what will you do? You will look at all the options and you will start checking by each option separately, right? Let us start checking by option A, right? If 36 centimeter is the largest length of tape that can be used to measure a room whose distances are these distances, right? Means 36 should divide this number and this number. right? Let us check about this thing. 36, 6, 4, 8. So 36 into 36. Then obviously you will get 288. So 36 into 288, basically 0. Right? And suppose you are not able to deal with these numbers in this way, you can use 648 by 236, 2 into 18, 2 into 324. Then if you can recall, the square of 18 is 324. Means this number is divisible by 36. Then 1152 should also be divisible by 36. So 36 into 3 is equal to 108. 72. See, this number is also divisible by 36. Now, let us think about 1620. So, 36 into 4 is 144, then 180. See, all these numbers are divisible by 36. Means 36 is the largest length of tape that can be used to measure these distances. Right? Or obviously you will get options. So suppose if you are not able to think in this way, you should think about using options. Right? In this kind of questions you can apply. Now try to answer this question. See, this question has been asked in CSAT 2020. Right? And you should try to recall. We have learned a concept yesterday, HCF of fractions. Right? So basically, these values are in fractions. And if you read the question says greatest length. How will you write 3, 1 by 2? Means 7 by 2. Is everyone able to get this thing? Right? 8, 3 by 4 means 35 by 4. Right? So basically, you have to answer HCF of 7 by 2 and 35 by 4. We have learnt about finding the HCF of fractions in yesterday's lecture. Right? Try to recall that formula. That how do we find the HCF of fractions? If we have to find the HCF of 7 by 2 and 35 by 4, what will we do? We will do simple. We will find the HCF of numerators and we will divide it by the LCM of denominators. What is the answer? Achha, 2 by? Okay, you are doing something wrong probably. See, HCF of 7 and 35 will be what? HCF of 7 and 35 will be what? 7, right? HCF of 7 and 35 will be simple. 7 and 35, 7 into 1, 5. So, HCF is 7, right? HCF is 7. You can even write 7 as 7 and 35 as 5 into 7. So, how do we find the HCF? We look at the, right? We look at the common values and the power of, minimum power of 7, that is 7, right? Then LCM of 2 and 4. What is the LCM of 2 and 4? 4, right? The LCM of 2 and 4 is simple 2 into 2, that is 4. So 7 by 4. Now look at the options. 1, 3 by 4. Right? 1, 3 by 4, how? See, you can write it as 1 into 4, 1 into 4, then plus 3 divided by 4. So 7 by 4.
We can do like that normally LCM of 7 and 3 is 35 we have to take minimum number, no?
Yeah, we have to take the minimum.
We can take directly 7.
Directly, yeah, 7.
4 is maximum.
Maximum. Correct. Correct. So the answer is 7 by 4, and that is in option D. So tell me, do you really find the questions difficult? Right? It is all about using the concept of HCF of fractions. So trust me, CSAT asks few easy and medium level questions each year. You only have to identify those questions. And you should be good at solving those easy or medium level questions. Why to struggle so much to solve difficult questions, right? When our only goal for now is to crack the CSAT examination, right? You are not gonna get anything by scoring 150, right? So trust me, if you are struggling in CSAT, start identifying those questions which are easy or of medium level, right? So you can see that it is a relatively easier question. Just find the HCF, right? Now we will solve this question. Okay, if you are not able to think that how can we approach this kind of questions, I will suggest you that use options. Try to understand question and try to use options. Obviously, we will also learn the approach, that how do we approach this kind of questions. But if you are suppose not able to think in that way for now, try to use options. And this question has been asked in CSAT 2020. Okay. Did you use options? Okay. Everyone should use options. You are saying option A, right? Okay. The question says that you have to find that least 4-digit number. You have to find that least 4-digit number. If you divide that number, if you okay, yeah, option is wrong. Which option is correct? Okay, see, you have to find that least 4-digit number, that if you divide that number by 3, you should get remainder 2. If you divide that number by 4, you should get remainder 2. If you divide that number by 5, you should get remainder 2, right? If you divide that number by 6, you should get remainder 2, right? So suppose you are not able to think that how to solve this kind of questions, you should start using options in this kind of questions, right? But obviously we will also learn the approach, that how can we solve this kind of questions, right? So what is the approach? See, what is the least 4-digit number when divided by 3, 4, 5 and 6 leaves a remainder 2? Try to think one thing, that if you divide, try to look at the board, if you divide 2 by 3, the remainder will be equal to 2. Are you able to get this thing? If you divide 5 by 3, the remainder will be equal to 2, right? If you divide 8 by 3, remainder will be equal to 2, right? If you divide 11 by 3, again remainder will be equal to 2. So basically you have to find a number, if you divide that number by 3, the remainder should be equal to 2. So that number will be of the form 3k plus 2. Don't worry, if you are not able to think in that way, I will explain. See, if you put the value of k that is equal to 0, so 3 into 0 plus 2 is 2. I am trying to build the basics, right? That how can you think about this question, right? So if you put the value of k is 0, you will get 2. If you put the value of k that is equal to 1, you will get 5. 3 into 1 plus 2 is 5. 3 into 2 plus 2 is 8. 3 into 3 plus 2 is 11. 3 into 4 plus 2 will be equal to 14. Even if you divide 14 by 3, you will get remainder is 2. You will get remainder as 2. Are you able to think this thing? Similarly, if you divide some number by 4, it means what? You can say that this number will also be the form of 4p plus 2. See, if you divide 2 by 4, remainder will be equal to 2. If you divide 6 by 4, remainder will be equal to 2. If you divide 10 by 4, the remainder will be equal to 2, right? If you divide 14 by 4, the remainder will be equal to 2. So basically, if the value of P is 0, the total value is 2. If the value of P is 1, the total value is 6. If the value of P is 2, the total value is 10. Right? Similarly, you can also think that if you divide a number by 5 and if you get remainder 2, means that number will be the form of 5q plus 2. See, you are independent. You can call it ABC, you can call it XYZ. You are independent to say, right? Similarly, if you divide that number by 6, means that number will be of the form of 6r plus 2. So basically, you have to find that number. You have to find that number. If you divide that number by 3, 4, 5 and 6, the remainder should be 2. The remainder should be equal to 2, right? Okay, now we will start solving this question. Why did I bring these examples? Such that if I explain you for now, you will be able to learn. See, list. If you look at the list, at least you should think about LCM for once. Right? See, I am not saying that if you read the list word, you will have to find the LCM. But I am suggesting you that if you read the word list, at least you should think about LCM for once. Right? If you read the word greatest, if you read the word highest, at least you can think for once, right? So the LCM of 3, 4, 5 and 6. What will be the LCM of 3, 4 and 5, 6? 2 into 2, 2 into 3, then obviously 3 into 1, 2, 5, 1. So the LCM will be equal to 2 into 3 into 2 into 5. So the LCM will be how much? 60. Right? LCM will be equal to 60. Now notice this thing. 60 is divisible by 3. Right? 60 is divisible by 3. 60 is divisible by 4. 60 is divisible by 5. 60 is divisible by 6. Means this number is divisible by all of these numbers. Why? Because this 60 is the least common multiple of 3, 4, 5 and 6. Try to recall that definition of LCM. Least common multiple, right? If you say that LCM of 3, 4, 5 and 6 is 60, means 60 is the least common multiple of 3, 4, 5 and 6. So basically, you can say that if you add plus 2 in 60, what will be the number? 62. What will be the number? 62. Now try to divide 62 by 3. You will get remainder 2. If you divide 62 by 4, you will get the remainder 2. Are you able to get this thing? See, you can check it. If you divide 62 by 3, you will get remainder 2. Are you? If you divide 62 by 4, again you will get remainder 2. 4, right? If you divide 62 by 5, again the remainder will be equal to 2. If you divide 62 by 6, again the remainder will be 2. Means 62 is that first number. If you divide that number by 3, 4, 5 and 6, you will get remainder 2. Right? But you have been asked to answer 4-digit number. List 4-digit number. But 62 is a 2-digit number. 62 is a 2-digit number. So basically, you have to think about finding that list 4-digit number. But you are still at 2-digit number. Right? Now, can I say that that number will be of the form of 60m plus 2. Okay, if you put the value of m as 0, you will get 2. If you divide 2 by 3, 4, 5 and 6, remainder will be 2. Right? If you put the value of m as 1, 60 into 1 plus 62, means if you divide 62 by 3, 4, 5 and 6, you will get remainder 1. Sorry, you will get remainder 2. If you put the value of m as 2, you should try to put the value of m as 2. See, why I am explaining so much? My goal is to teach you that how can you think, right? See, we were able to answer the question by using options, right? But why we are learning? Such that your basics should be built up, right? So if you put the value of m as 2, means that number will be equal to 122. Again, if you divide 122 by 3, 4, 5 and 6, you will find that remainder is 2. If you put the value of m is 3, then you will get 60 into 3 plus 2. 60 into 3 will be equal to 180 plus 2 is 182. Again, if you divide 182 by these numbers, you will get remainder 2. But 182 is a 3-digit number, right? 182 is a 3-digit number. You have to find the 4-digit number and you have to find the least 4-digit number, right? Now I am erasing these. See, in the end, I will simplify all the learnings, right? But for now, you should try to understand that why do we find, why we will follow that approach for forever. So basically, the number will be of the form of 60m plus 2, 60m plus 2, right? If you put the value of m, as 16, if you put the value of m as 16, you will get 60 into 16 plus 2, that is equal to 962. If you put the value of m as 17, you will get 16 into 17 plus 2, and that will be equal to 17 into 62, 60 will be equal to 102 plus 2, so 1022. So 1022 will be the answer. But now you will think that how to think that we should put m equal to 70. Now you will ask me that how did you think that m is equal to 17? See, I started to put m equal to 1, m equal to 2, m equal to 3, m equal to 4. But being good at multiplication helped me, right? 60 into 16 will be equal to 960. Plus 2 is 962. 60 into 17 will be equal to 1020. 1020. So, okay, we have to find 4-digit number. So, if you are not able to think in this way, let us take the least 4-digit number. What is the least 4-digit number? 1000. The least 4-digit number is 1000. Let us divide it by 60. So, 60 into 1, right? So, 40. Then you will write it here, 60 into 60. See, we got the remainder 40. If I put the value, if I multiply 60 by 16, I get the remainder 40. Right? Means if I put the value of 16, I am getting closer to 100. Sorry, I am getting closer to 1000. Right? I am getting closer to 1000. Right? It means if I increase the value, see, after solving few questions related to this concept, you will not have to think a lot to thinking about the value of m, 16, 17, 18. Right? It is all about practicing few questions. Right? So, if you list 4-digit number is 1000, if you divide 1000 by 60, you get remainder as 40. You get remainder as 40. What does it mean? That now try to put the value of m greater than 16 and that value will be equal to 17, right? And if you multiply 60 into 17, you will get 1020 plus 2, that is equal to 1022. So for now, we will learn the basic approach, that how to solve questions. Let me simplify all of these learnings. See, I have seen few aspirants who try to recall this kind of questions. See, there are basically 6 to 7 questions related to this concept, right? So they try to remember the approach of each type of questions, right? And sometimes we educators do enjoy by sharing the traits, that okay, if you get this question, remember this trick. If you get this question, remember this trick. If you get this question, remember this trick, right? Because it is really tough to teach the basics, because maybe students will not be able to learn, they will be confused. That's why we educators have to share the tricks. Okay, remember this trick, right? So simple. If you get this kind of questions, list 4-digit number 3, 4, 5 and 6. I will suggest you that if you are not able to understand, start using options, right? start using options. You will be able to answer. CSAT doesn't check that how did you find the correct answer. You will get the marks if you have marked the correct answer, right? So simple. You will have to find the LCM of 3, 4, 5 and 6. If you find the LCM will be 60. If you divide 60 by these numbers, right, the remainder should be 0. But if you add plus 2, so 62 will be that number. If you divide by these numbers, remainder will be 2. So basically you can say that 60k plus 2. 60k plus 2. Now you have to deal with 4-digit number. You have to deal with 4-digit number and you have to find the least 4-digit number. So least 4-digit number is 1000, right? So let us divide 1000 by 60. So basically you will get 40 as the remainder. You will get 40 as the remainder. Means if you put the value of k as 16, you will be closer to 1000. Okay, let us try to put k equal to 17. Okay, means 60 into 17 plus 2. If you solve it, you will find the value is 1022. But don't worry, we will solve many questions and such that you will not have to cram these concepts. You will be able to understand, right? Hopefully, you are able to understand up to some extent, right? Let us try to solve this question. The approach is not gonna change. The approach will be same. Now try to notice one thing. They have asked this question in 2020, right? That find the least 4-digit number when divided by 3, 4, 5 and 6 leaves a remainder 2. Least 4-digit number and the answer is slightly greater than 1000, right? Now if you read this question is of 2022. Are you able to find the pattern? That again, they have asked you that what is the smallest number greater than 1000. Means they are again asking you, what is the least 4-digit number? Right? They have just tweaked the language. In that question, there was a remainder of 2. In this question, the remainder is of 3. And yeah, these numbers are different. Right? So CSAT does repeat questions. Again, you will have to find one way that go through options and mark the option correctly. Another way, you can find the LCM. You can write the pattern, that what will be the form of the number. Okay, this is the answer. Did you use options to answer the question? Okay. Simple again, you can use options, but if you use the approach, what will be the LCM of 6, 9, 12, 15 and 18? What will be the LCM? 180. Okay. We can find that 6, 9, 12, 15 and 18. So 3 into 2, 3 into 3, 3 into 4, 3 into 5, 3 into 6. 2 into 1, 3, 2, 5, 3. So 3 into 1, 2, 5, 1. 3 into 2 is 6. 6 into 3 is 18. 18 into 2 is 36. 36 into 5 is 180. Means basically the LCM will be equal to 180. Right? What does it mean? That if you divide 180 by these numbers, the remainder will be equal to 0. But you have to make the remainder 3. Means that number will be equal to 180 plus 3 is equal to 183. But read the question. You have to find the what is the smallest number greater than 1000. What does it mean? They are asking you again 4-digit number. right? Now try to think that it means the number will be of form 180k plus 3, 180k plus 3, you can call it 180m plus 3, you can call it 180p plus 3, whichever letter you are comfortable with, right? Now try to think, if you put the value of k equal to 1, the number will be 183. If you put the value of k equal to 2, you will get 182 into 2 plus 3, that will be equal to 363. Similarly, if you keep finding, if you put k equal to 5, you will get 1 into 8, 5 plus 3, that is equal to 903. Similarly, if you put k equal to 6, 180 into 6 plus 3, that is equal to 1080 plus 3, means 1083 will be the answer, right? हाँ, मतलब वो अप्रोच काम वही मैं कह रहा हूँ ना कि देखो कितना इट इज रियली एन इजियर क्वेश्चन, राइट? इफ you are able to use options, why not to use options? If you get this kind of questions, be happy that you have got 2.5 marks in fun, right? Were you not using options earlier? Okay. हाँ, करेक्ट, या तो सिंपल है कि आप ऑप्शंस भी यूज कर सकते हैं, यू कैन यूज ऑप्शंस, राइट? एंड इफ यू यूज ऑप्शंस, यू विल फाइंड ओनली ऑप्शन डी इज द करेक्ट, right? And if you are able to think in this way, you can think, you can start putting the value of k equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And 1083 will be the correct answer, right? Any doubt? See, you will have to pick one method at least, right? Okay. Now again you can read the question, again you can use options. Now read the question carefully. The greatest number. At least think for HCF once, or you can use options. The greatest number which can divide 110 and 128, leaving the same remainder 2 in each case. See, we haven't solved this kind of questions earlier, but don't worry, we will solve it together. See, if you have to answer the greatest number which can divide 110 and 128, leaving the same remainder 2 in each case, means basically we have to find a number, we have to find the greatest number, and if you divide these two numbers 110 and 128 by that greatest number, you will get remainder 2, you will get remainder 2. What does it mean? It means that if you subtract 110 minus 2, that is equal to 108, means if you divide 108 by that greatest number, that number will be able to divide it completely. 18? Okay, yeah, 18 will be the correct answer probably. So try to understand for now that if you have to find the greatest number which can divide 110 and 128, leaving the same remainder 2 in each case, means if you subtract 2 from, if you divide these two numbers by that number, you get remainder 2. So why not subtract 2 from this number? If you subtract 2 from this number will be 108, and now that greatest number will be able to divide it completely. Earlier when it was 110, it was leaving remainder 2. So let us subtract 2, means now it will be able to divide completely, right? So another number is 128. If this greatest number is dividing this number and leaving remainder 2, why not subtract 2 from this number? If we have subtracted 2 from this number, means what does it mean? It means that this, if now the number is 126, means that greatest number can divide this number completely. So now answer me, what will be the greatest number that can divide both numbers 108 and 126? Means you have to answer HCF. What is the meaning of HCF? Highest common factor, means highest number that can divide the given numbers. And again, if you read the question carefully, you have to find the greatest number that can divide these two numbers completely. So basically, you have to find HCF of 108 and 126, right? If you find the HCF of 102 and 126, simple, 2 into 5 4 and 2 into 6 3. Now you can directly apply 9 into 6 9 into 7. HCF is equal to 2 into 9, that is equal to 18. Or even if you use options, you can answer option D. Any doubt? Were you able to find option D? Okay. Now I am again explaining the basic approach. Listen it for now, then we will switch to next question. You have to answer the greatest number which can divide these numbers 110 and 128 and leaves the remainder 2. Right? Means there is a number which can divide these two numbers. That number is greatest and leaving remainder 2. Sorry, means if you subtract 2 from this number 110, that number will be able to divide it completely. If you subtract 2 from this number, means that number will be able to divide it completely. Means now you have to find the greatest number that can divide those two numbers. Now try to recall the definition of HCF, highest common factor, highest number that can divide the given numbers is the greatest number that can divide both numbers. So basically now you have to answer the HCF of 108 and 126, and HCF will be equal to 18, right? Even if you use options, see 110, so 18 into 6, you get remainder 2, right? And 128, 18 into 7, remainder is 2. So you can use options to answer this kind of questions, right? Any doubt? Now try to answer this question. Again, you can use options, or you can follow the basic approach. The greatest number which on dividing, if that greatest number divides this number, it leaves remainder 5. If that greatest number divides 1 2 3 7, it leaves remainder 7. Are you able to understand? See, respectively means what? That if that greatest number divide 989, it leaves remainder 5. And if that greatest number divides 1 2 3 7, it leaves the remainder 7. You can use options, or you can even use the basic approach.
Sorry,
8 is the answer. Okay. But remember, you have to find the greatest number. Did you only check about 8? Right? No, then you will have to check other numbers also. Why? Because suppose let us assume that 8 and 24, you get 2 answers, but you have to pick the greatest number. Right? So in this kind of questions, you will have to be slightly careful. Sometimes you will have to check all options even after getting numbers. So I will suggest you, when you deal with the greatest number, start checking from the largest values. Right? Check for 32 first, then check for 24, because you have to find the greatest number, right? And when suppose in few questions you have to find the least number, in that case you should start checking by least values. What is the answer? It is the answer. Okay, let us check for option number D. Let us check for option number D. If you divide 989 by 24, so 24 into 4 will be 96, then it will be 29, so remainder is 5. Okay, if I divide 989 by 24, we got remainder 5, right? If you divide 1237 by 24, 24 into 5 is equal to 120, then 37, right? Then 37. Okay, are we missing something? Okay, maybe it is the answer. I am not sure. So 25 in 24 into 4 is 13. Okay, 24 is not the answer. Why? Because we are getting 13 as remainder, but 7 as remainder. Okay, let us solve it by using normal options for now. Right? What is your answer? Okay, you didn't get any answer? No answer? Okay, let us check for 8. Maybe there is some error in questions. Let us check it for 8. 989. So 8 into 1 is 1. 8. 8 into 2 is 16. So 8 into 3 is, okay, 5 is the remainder. Okay, let us check for 8, 1, 2, 3, 7. Then, okay, maybe there is some error. 8 into 1, 4, then 3, then 7, then 8 into 5. So again 3, 7, 8 into 4. Yeah, maybe there is some error. Let us solve it by using normal approach and we will be able to find the right answer. Then we will edit options. Okay. But don't worry, in CSAT you will not get wrong options, right? Because obviously they will verify options. Okay. But I am happy that if you don't get any correct option, you guys are able to identify that, okay, there is not a single correct option. Let us use it by normal method. So what will be the normal method? If the greatest number divides 989, the remainder is 5. If the greatest number divides 1237, then the remainder is 7. It means that if I subtract 5 from 989, the greatest number can divide this number completely, right? Earlier, when it is 989, it was leaving remainder 5. So I subtracted 5. Now the remainder will be 0. Means the greatest number can divide this number completely. Okay. Now, if the greatest number divides 1237, it is leaving remainder is 7. So let us subtract 7. What does it mean? That now this is 1230. Right? Let us prime factorize 984. Again, 2 into 49, then 2. So again 2 into 4, and that is equal to 6. So 2 into 1 to 3. 2 into 1 to 3. So this is divisible by 3 into 41. 41 is a prime number. 41 is a prime number. So we can write 984 as 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 41, means we can write 984 as 2 to the power 3 into 3 into 41. See, why didn't we proceed further? Because when we prime factorize any number, we only can write it as multiplication of prime numbers, right? And 41 is already a prime number, so you can't proceed. Let us do similar thing for 1230. So this is equal to 615, right? This is equal to 615. 617 plus 5 is 12, means this number is divisible by 3, and this number is also divisible by 5, right? So let us think for 3, 2, 0 and 5, right? Again 5 into 41. 5 into 41. Are you able to get this thing? That 5 into 41. 5 into 4 is 20. Means you can write 1230 as 2 into 3 into 5 into 41. Right? Now we have to find the HCF. To find the HCF, we only look at the common numbers. So 2 is the common. 2 is the common, right? And 41 is the common, right? 2 is the common. See, 2 is the common and 41 is the common, right? But we take the minimum power of 2. So what is the minimum power of 2? That is 1, right? and 41 is common. What is the minimum power of 2? That is 2 into 41 is equal to 82. So 82 will be the answer. That's why we were not getting any correct option. Okay, let us make it 82. Okay. So if you divide this number by 82, you will get remainder 5. If you divide this number by 82, you will get remainder 7. So don't worry, sometimes there can be some kind of error in options. But fortunately, if you get options wrong, that's why that's why all of you focused on the basic approach. Right? And maybe you learned something new.
Instead of 1, 2, 3, 7, if you kept 9 means we can get the answer.
Acha, okay, okay. Right? See, you learned one thing, that 41 is a prime number. Right? So if we focus on good things, 41 is a prime number. If you prime factorize, write it as the multiplication of prime numbers. And all of us now know that how to find the HCF, how to find the LCM by using prime factorization method, by using that simple approach that we have learned in childhood. Right? Now try to answer this question. Again, you can use options. So if you get this kind of questions, be happy. And just read the question carefully. The smallest number, what is the answer? 52. Yeah, probably 52 is the correct answer. See, I will suggest you one thing. If you have to find the smallest number, start dealing with the smaller values. If you have to find the largest number, start dealing with larger values. Right? So if you look at the options, we have to answer the smallest number, so start dealing with the smallest number. So if you add, are you saying anything? If you add 8 in 52, the number will be equal to 60. And see, 60 is divisible by 10, 12, 15 and 20. Right? So sometimes you can get this kind of easier questions. So if you are not able to think that should I find the LCM, should I find the HCF, no issues. Right? And we can expect 1 to 2 questions of this kind getting asked in CSAT. We have also seen few questions, right? So again, see, if you are using options, we got 52 as the correct answer, but let us solve it by using simple method. What will be the LCM? Try to answer what will be the LCM of 10, 12, 15 and 20. The LCM of 10, 12, 5 into 2, 12, 5 into 3, then 4, 3, 2, 3 into 4, 3 into 1, then 4. So 4, 2 into 1, 1, 1. So 5 into 3 is okay. 5 into, did we do 60? Should be the answer. Where am I doing wrong? 3 into 2, 3 into 4. Okay, 4 into 2, 4 into 1. Am I doing something wrong? 5 into 2 is 10. 5 into 3, 15. 5 into 20 is 4. Then 3 into 4, 3 into 1, 4. Then 4 into 1, 1. Where am I doing wrong? The LCM should be 60. Right? The LCM should be 60. Sorry? We have started with 5, right? 5 into 2, 10. 5 into 3, 15. 5 into 4 is okay. So 2 is 1, 2, then 2. Okay, okay. Then we can write it as 2. Okay, got it. 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Right? 5 into 3 is 15 into 2 is 30. 30 into 2 is 60. So see, LCM is 60. Now try to think about 60. 60 is the least common multiple of these numbers. Means 60 is divisible by all of these numbers. And if you read the question, the smallest number to which if 8 is added is exactly divisible by these numbers. So if you say multiple, least common multiple, means that is the least number that is divisible by all of these numbers. That is divisible by all of these numbers. So if you just subtract 8 from this number, then only you will have to add 8 to make it divisible by these numbers. Right? Are you able to get this thing? Okay? Now try to answer this question. Okay, this question is slightly difficult. But no, you can use options. Why to worry? Find the largest number which divides these numbers to leave the same remainder in each case. Means you have to use options, right? And you have to divide by these values to these values to see that do you get the same remainder. And see, you have to find the largest number. So start dealing with the largest numbers. There are so many concepts in number system chapter, right? That's why there are so many questions from number system.
Okay, sir.
25. But tell me, if you divide 62 by 25, you get remainder 12, right? But if you divide 132 by 25, you get remainder 7. 25 into 5 will be equal to 125. 35? Are you able to get this thing? That if you divide 132 by 25, you will get remainder 7. Show me. Okay. No, 25 into 5 is 125. 25 into 4 is 100. Are you able to notice this thing? Right? Okay. So what is the correct answer? Hopefully the 35 is the correct answer. Right? So see, you can notice that if you divide all of these numbers by 35, see, you can check it by using option. See, you can start by using 45. 45 into 1. So the remainder is 17. We are using by the larger values. Why? Because we have to find the largest number. 45 into 132. 42 into 19. So the remainder is 42, the remainder is 17, but it has been said in the question that you should get the same remainder in each case. Why we will check about 45, 237? We will not check. We didn't get the same remainder. We should get the same remainder. Right? Are you able to get this thing? That we should get the same remainder if you divide by 45. But when you divide 62 by 45, you get remainder 17. When you divide 132 by 45, you get remainder 42. You are not getting the same remainder. Let us check for 35. If you divide 62 by 35, you get remainder as 27. 27. If you divide 132 by 35, you get remainder 27. Right? If you divide 237 by 35, you get 27. You have got the same remainder in each case. That's why the correct answer is 35, right? But let us learn the basic approach. But if you are not able to learn the basic approach, don't worry, right? Why? See, there are so many types of questions. So obviously you will have to think a lot to answer this question by using basic approach. But our goal should be to answer the question correctly. And you will be able to answer the question correctly. See, you will just have to read the question carefully. Right? That's what to do. Okay? So let us start it by using simple approach. See, the question says, find the largest number which divides 62, 132 and 237 to leave the same remainder in each case. What does it mean? It means that if I say that there is a number, there is a greatest number, if that number divides these numbers, the remainder is same in each case, right? Let us assume that remainder is R. Let us assume that remainder are in all of three cases. Try to recall earlier questions. In one question, the remainder is 5 and 7, right? In one question there was a remainder of 2, right? So in this question, if you divide these numbers by largest number, you are getting the remainder in each case. What does it mean? It means that if you subtract r from 62, means that greatest number can divide this number, right? Earlier when we were dividing 62 by that number, we were getting remainder r, so we subtracted r. Now that greatest number can divide this number, right? Then we subtracted r from 132. Now that number can divide this number. Earlier it was giving us remainder r. Then 237 minus r. 237 minus r. Why? Because if you divide 237 by that greatest number, you were getting remainder r. So let us subtract r from this equation, r from 237. Now that greatest number can divide all of these numbers, and if the greatest number can divide all of these numbers, what does it mean? You will have to learn one thing. See, if I say that there is a greatest number which can divide a, b and c, what does it mean? That greatest number will definitely divide b minus a, c minus a, or you can even say c minus b, right? This is a property. See, you don't have to engage a lot in these properties, right? You can get confused, right? But but my goal is to teach you that, okay, how to solve these questions by using basic approach. We are able to learn that how we can answer these questions by using options, and CSAT does provide you options, right? So why worry a lot while dealing with this kind of questions, right? So simply, what does it mean? That greatest number can divide 132 minus r minus 62 minus r. That greatest number can divide 237 minus r minus 132 minus r. That greatest number can divide 237 minus r minus, I will give you few examples in tomorrow's lecture that how can we apply that property, but don't get confused a lot, right? Simple, that if a largest number divides these numbers, means that largest number can divide their differences, and if you find it, you will find that 132 minus 62 comma 237 minus 132 and 237 minus 62. If you subtract it, see, minus r minus 62 minus plus r. So minus r plus r will cancel each other, right? 237 minus r minus 132, and minus of minus r means plus r. So minus r and plus r will cancel each other. So basically 237 minus 132, 237 minus 62, this is equal to 70, this is equal to 105, right? And this is equal to 7 minus 2 is 5, and this is equal to 175. So now we have to find the HCF of 70, 105 and 175. And if you find the HCF, you will find 35. But don't worry. See, if you want to note it, you can note it. But I will suggest you that don't try a lot to learn these concepts, right? We have to learn very few things such that we shouldn't be confused. But if I don't teach you the basic approaches, you will teach that, okay, that teacher only teaches that how to solve questions by using options, right? He is not telling us, he is not teaching us basic approaches, right? Okay, don't worry. I will try to teach you this property by giving few examples. What did I say? That if a number divides AB, if a largest number divides AB and C, means that largest number also divides that their differences, and we use that property here, right? Okay, now try to answer this question. See, you can use options, you can again use options. And we can expect this kind of questions getting asked in CSAT. Use options to answer this question. And yeah, to use options, you will have to do that division, multiplication, subtraction, addition. A 1394. Okay. Everyone should try to answer the question. Will you be able to solve this kind of questions if you get this kind of questions in exam? Okay. We have to find the list number. So obviously we should start with the list value, and 1394 is the list value. What is the answer? 1394. If you divide 1394 by 20, 20 into 6, 120, then 3, 9, then 20 into 1, right? Then obviously 194, then 20 into 9, 180. See, if you divide 1394 by 20, you got the remainder 40. You have checked for 20. Let us check for 25. Let us divide 1394 by 25. 25 into 5 is 125, right? Then 25 into 5 is 125. See, we have got remainder 19. We have got remainder 19. Let us check it for 35. Let us divide 1394 by 35. 35 into 3 is 105, and 9 minus 5 is 4, and 3, then 4, right? So now what 35 into 10 is 350. So 35 into 9, 35 into 9, 5 into 9 will be, see, you can check it here. 35 into 9 will be how much? 350 minus 35, 35, so 350. So 229. See, we have brought 29. See, obviously you will have to put efforts to divide these numbers, right? But see, how can you answer the questions of CSAT without putting any kind of efforts, right? We will definitely have to invest 1 to 2 minutes, right, per question to answer the questions correctly. Now, let us divide 1394 by 40. So, 40 into 3 is 120, right? Then 194, right? So, 40 into 4 is 160, 34. See, you have got 34, right? Means A option is the correct answer. See, we are able to answer questions without using basic approach, right? Okay, again I will teach you few basic approaches. Okay, don't worry, I will teach you basic approach in the next lecture, right? But in the beginning I was taking the question, but I skipped that question. I thought that maybe this question will take much time, but for now we can try that question. Try this question for now. And don't worry, we haven't learned this concept. That's why you will find it difficult, but it is not difficult. Sometimes I try to teach concepts by using questions. I will just say you one thing. If there is a number AB, if there is a 2-digit number AB, what does it mean? That this number is 10 into A plus B? If you are not able to think this thing, see, there is a number 98, means this number is equal to 90 plus 8. Means what? See, this number is at tens place, so obviously 9 into 10, and this number is at units place, so obviously 8 into 1, means 9 into 10 plus 8. See, since we multiply with 1 and multiplying 1 doesn't change value, that's why we don't stress a lot on that thing, right? So if I say that there is a 2-digit number AB, can I say that this number is 10 into A plus B? Are you able to get this thing? If I say that there is a number ABC, can I say that that number is 100 into A plus 10 into B and plus obviously A, and you can say 1 into A, but why to write 1 into A? Will it change? No, it will not change. Now try to use this concept to solve that question. What is the answer? C. Okay, you are saying 37, right? Okay, let us start solving this question. It says that XYZ be a 3-digit number, right? Where X plus Y plus Z is not a multiple of 3. Okay, see, if you read that X plus Y plus Z is not a multiple of 3, sometimes we are stuck at that part. We start thinking that what to do with this data. But don't stuck. If you are not able to understand some part properly, let us read the next part of the question, right? And what is the next part of the question? The next part of the question says that then XYZ plus YZX plus ZXY is not divisible by. Obviously means this number is not divisible by which of the options, right? This is the question. Okay, if I say XYZ, can I write it as 100 into X plus 10 into Y plus Z? Are you able to get this thing? That if a number is 987, it means 100 into 9 plus 10 into 8 plus 7, 900 plus 80 plus 7. Right? Are you able to get this thing? Why? Because this X is at hundreds place. That's why we multiply it with 100. 100 into X. Y is at tens place, means 10 into Y. And Z is at units place, so 1 into Z, right? So XYZ equal to 100 into X plus 10 into Y plus Z. Now tell me, can I write it as 100X plus 10Y plus Z? Are you able to understand? I can write it, right? See, can we write it as 100 into A plus 10 into B plus C? We can write it as, right? Similarly, we can write XYZ as 100X plus 10Y plus Z, right? Okay, we can write XYZ in this form. So let us write YZX. Can we call it as 100Y plus 10Z plus X? Right? Then let us focus on ZXY. Can we call it as 100Z plus 10X plus Y? Any doubt? We can write XYZ in this way, YZX in this way, ZXY in this way. Hopefully all of you are able to understand. Now focus on this part. Means we have to add all these numbers. We have to add all these numbers, right? We have to add XYZ plus YZX plus ZYX. So basically we are adding XYZ plus YZX plus ZXY, right? And we know that XYZ is equal to 100 into X plus 10 into Y plus Z, right? Then obviously plus what is YZX? YZX is 100 into Y. Let me remove these parts because we took these examples to teach you. See, 100Y plus 10Z plus X. This is the value of YZX, right? Now, what is the value of ZXY? The value of ZXY is equal to 100Z plus 10X plus Y. See, we have added all these values, XYZ plus YZX plus ZXY. So we wrote XYZ, then we wrote YZX, then we wrote ZXY. Okay? Any doubt? Now, let us focus on the parts X. 100X. Where is our X? X and 10X. 100x plus 1x plus 10x, that is equal to 111x. Are you able to see? 100x plus x plus 10x. If this is x means 1x. So 100 plus 1 is 101 plus 10 is 111, right? Means this value is equal to 111x, right? Now think for y. 10y plus 100y is equal to 110y. Then our y is here. 110y plus y is 111y. Are you able to get this thing? So this is equal to 111y, right? Now focus on z. 1z plus 10z means 11z. 11z plus 100z is equal to 111z. Are you able to get this thing? This is equal to 111z, right? Now can we take, I have told you in one lecture that take common. Whenever you see something, you should try to take something common. If you can recall one lecture, right? Means we can take 111 common. If you take 111 common, then you get 111 into x plus y plus z, right? So basically this number is equal to this number, 111 into x plus y plus z. Now try to prime factorize 111. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. Means this number is divisible by 3. Are you able to get this thing? This number is divisible by 3. If you divide it by 3, you will get 3 into 37. You will get 3 into 37. 37 is a prime number. I told you in one of the lectures that you have to remember that what are the prime numbers between 1 to 100, right? So if you have got 37, means you can't prime factorize anymore. Means you can write this number as 3 into 37 into, see this is not x, this is into, right? So don't get confused by x and into, right? So 3 into 37 into x plus y plus z. Now try to think, this number is equal to 3 into 37 into x plus y plus z. This number, x plus y plus z. Now is not divisible by, means you have to check by dealing with each options, right? You have to check by using options. Okay. So is this number divisible by 3? Yes. If you divide this number by 3, you can divide. Means you can't mark this option. Why? Because you have to mark that option that is not divisible by which of the following numbers. And you can see that this number is divisible by 3. If I ask you that is 3 into 13 divisible by 3, yeah, this is divisible by 3. 3 into 13 is 39. Can we divide 39 by 3? Yeah, we can divide it. So basically this number is divisible by 3. So we can't mark that options. Are you able to get this point? Right? Okay. Let us see. Now if I ask you that is this number divisible by 9? Okay, few of you will be confused that, okay, how can I think 3 into 3, but we don't know about anything, x plus y plus z. Okay, you are not able to think. Let us don't do anything with option B, right? Let us not do anything with option B. If you are not getting any idea, suppose you are not able to use this line. You are not able to use this line. Okay, you can't say anything about 9 if you are not able to use this line. Okay, let us focus on option number C. If I ask you that is this number divisible by 37, yeah, this number is divisible by 37. Means you can't mark option C, right? Okay, so we can't mark option C. Let us start dealing with option D. If I ask you, is this number divisible by x plus y plus z? Yeah, this number is divisible by x plus y plus z, right? They will cancel each other. Means you can't mark option D. So now think for 1 second, think for 1 minute. You are not able to use this line, still you can answer. option B. You are not able to think that is this number divisible by 9 or not. Okay, see, many aspirants will start at this point. They will think that I am unable to think that this number divisible by 9. But see, if you have proceed till this point and you are not able to use, why to start at this option? Let us deal with option C. Let us deal with option D. If you find that this number is divisible by A, C and D, only one of the options will be the correct answer. Right? You can mark option B without even understanding the complete question. Are you able to get the point? Okay. Now, okay. Although we can answer option B because we found that this number is divisible by 3, 37 and x plus y plus z. But why option B? Okay. Suppose if you ask me why option B, now read this line that x plus y plus z is not a multiple of 3. If it is not a multiple of 3, means if you divide it by 9, so 3 into 1 and 3 into 3, obviously 3 and 37 are not going to divide each other in any way, right? They can't. And this is not a multiple of 3. If it is a multiple of 3, means that number can be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, means that number is divisible by 3. But this number is not a multiple of 3, means you can't divide this number by 3. If it is a multiple of 3, means it is divisible by 3. What is the meaning of being multiple? 3 into 1, 3 into 2, 3 into 3, means that number is divisible by 3. But listen, even if you are not able to use that property, even if you are not able to use this line, you can still answer this question by using only two concepts, that you should know these things, that ABC equal to 100 into A plus 10 into B plus C, right? One thing. And again, you should know that you can prime factorize 111 as 3 into 37. So to solve this question correctly, you needed two kind of knowledge. One knowledge is this one, right? And another is that sometimes even after reaching at this point, many of us stop, right? But suppose if you are not able to think, that this number is equal to 3 into 37, still you can answer. You can start dividing this number 111 by 3, and you will find that this number is divisible by 3. Are you able to get this point? Even if you are not able to prime factorize, you can start dividing 111 by 37. If you keep multiplying, 37 into 1 is 37, 37 into 2 is 74, 37 into 3 is 111. So trust me, they don't ask difficult questions. They really check your basic concepts, right? And obviously if you see X, Y, Z, ABC, sometimes we get frightened that no, I will not be able to solve this question, right? But don't worry, how we can be good at solving this kind of questions? By solving a number of questions, right? So hopefully all of you learned something new in today's lecture, right? Then see you in next lecture.